Oh boy. Oh baby.
Oh baby, oh baby, oh baby.
Actually, I was thinking more the dang, what's that old song? Um, I can't do too much of it, right? Because we could get copyright stricken. But like the sample goes, boy, boy, oh
Oh,
boy.
freaking old boy by Cameron.
There you go. Yeah. So that's how I heard it.
Yeah.
um.
Wait, are we on right now?
Oh, we are on, my
Oh, we are
boy.
on.
Yeah,
We
we
are
are.
on.
We are on and popping right now.
My goodness, we
On
are
and
here. We are back.
popping. Yeah.
It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you.
I didn't mean to step two. Step two. Step two. Yo, by the way, I want to start this. Actually, I gotta let him know that I'm gonna shout him out right now, because although I don't see it on my feed, I believe him. Uh, Here, I sent it to him to see if he arrives. Now this guy, he said to me
What do you say?
that he subscribed to us with his Prime subscription, uh,
Word.
because I just happened to mention, uh, I just happened to mention that I was gonna start streaming again,
Just
right
in
when he got
passing.
the right when he got the notification that, like, yeah, that he could give somebody his Prime sub, and he was like, "You got it, it's yours." Uh, One of our boys, one of our best boys in chat. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Thank you
Welcome
for the,
back. Welcome back.
thank you for the
Welcome
Prime
back.
sub.
We
We
very much appreciate
appreciate
it,
all
sir.
love and happy. You know, how's everybody doing this fine Sunday morning, depending on your time zone?
I'm doing just fine. Trying to stay warm from all the snow.
Yeah,
How's everyone else
you're in breezy in sunny. Is it sunny New York?
doing? It's sunny and cold at the same darn time, which is very confusing for me.
It's the great temperature paradox.
Like there's snow on the ground, but the sun in the sky. It's just I don't like it. Confusing. Hurts my brain.
Yeah, look, you know what though? I enjoyed it. Yo, for the first time in where I am, like, it's actually kind of chilly. Like, it was I walked my sister's dog this morning. It was 38 degrees in Florida for the first time. Yeah, so there, because it's been cold the past couple days. All right, this is kind of funny to me. Thank you. Support me. I can't wait to support you. Let me know next time you're streaming. Um,
So he says he's dealing with 38. I'm dealing with 25.
so
Feels like 14. I'm
yeah,
starving
yeah,
up.
yeah. Well, no, right now for me, it's a lot warmer than that. It's 56 right now.
Oh,
But so here's the
oh.
thing, right? So down here, so I'm in Florida right now, and down here, it's usually super humid,
Hmm.
right? Because it's been cold, the humidity has dropped, right? Because it can't stay as water vapor in the air, like, it condenses.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
Science. And So yeah, I actually this morning, I thought it was pretty cool. I took a picture of, like, a frozen birch nut on a leaf. It was that cold here. Like, there was a birch nut frozen to a leaf. Anyway, um, and because of that, we've been getting red flag warnings, which means,
What?
like, there could be fires out here. Like, there's a higher risk of, like, wildfires right now because it's colder and there's lower humidity,
Oh, that's
so it's
true.
less likely to dampen a fire. So people are saying, like, there was, like, in the notice, it was like, you may experience extreme conditions when lighting fires outside.
Okay, that's a fair assessment.
Yeah, honestly, crazy.
So you be careful if you want to start any of those barbecues out there,
Exactly. I
because
don't start barbecues,
if you
man.
see anybody starting a barbecue, feel free to
Yo,
warn them.
you know what? This may be.
And warn them mad ominously. Like if you see somebody about to start a barbecue, you walk up behind them, you put your hand on their shoulder, and say, "You shall cause a hellscape."
No, no,
And
no. I wouldn't even say anything. I wouldn't even say anything. I would just cover it. Cover like put the lid on and just look at them.
just put the lid on. No,
Use an air fryer and walk away. And you know what?
oh,
Knock it over. Knock it
knock
over.
it
Yeah,
over.
knock
That's
it
the
over. Because
all
if
the
it's
charcoal
coal,
on the
that's
floor.
like that's gonna just ruin your whole day. If it's propane, you just gotta pick it. Actually, no. If it's propane, it might explode. I have to rethink that.
Yeah, rethink that. Push it over with like an 11-foot pole, so you have some distance.
Yeah, oh God, could you imagine like in the smallest of ways, it like there's a small chance that you knock it just right that it becomes like a rocket hurtling towards your face.
Oh my! But the odds of that. Oh
You
god,
know,
no,
you
no,
could
that's
be
not fun.
incredibly
I don't like
lucky or unlucky, however you wanted to. Look at that.
that.
Oh
Incredibly lucky
shit.
or unlucky. If you survived it, you'd have a great story.
Yo, honestly, that's a great way to rephrase that or uh to look at that from a different point of view, right? If things keep happening to you, right, and you keep calling yourself unlucky, you could say that you're lucky, right? You could say that you're lucky enough to have the opportunity to like show that you could get through this, right? I don't know, right?
So
You
you're
got to
able to
try.
show your tenacity through your
There
terrible
you
luck.
go. Your tenacity, your resilience, right? Boom. Turn it around. You're a badass. Cobra
But
Kai. Sorry, I don't
you'd be
know.
talking about somebody, be like, "Yo, they are tenacious as fuck." How do you know? Because their life just be shit, and they keep going.
Yo,
their
oh,
life.
just a real quick rewind. Thank you for this sub. I wanted to thank Lysol for this sub. That sub before we got in chat, and then I
Okay.
also wanted to thank Aoric for his sub. Uh, but we continue. Cobra Kai never dies.
Gang
Anyway,
shit. Gang stuff.
yeah, gang, gang things, gang affiliated, my friends. Haha, yes, chums. Yeah, could you
I'm
imagine?
quite good in every hood,
Could you
my
imagine
friend.
if gangs like to be in a gang you had to have perfect elocution,
Oh, that would drop membership indefinitely.
or we would just have very like it would be very articulate murders.
Very articulate gang
Like
members. Oh,
you instead of it being like we run this shit. Like we own this neighborhood and we would appreciate it if you stayed out. Thank you.
this is a gated community. Please get off the
White
property.
collar crime requirements for sure.
Awful.
How many counts of tax fraud? One? Next.
We've switched our focus from controlling the neighborhood through violence and threats to actually purchasing the neighborhood and raising the rents for all the people living here,
Hold
and
on a
they've been
second.
slowly having to vacate.
This sounds like gentrification.
Oh yeah, that's the new gang. They gentrify. It's just a gang of people come together. They purchase all the land. They raise the prices.
Oh my gosh.
It's
We
the
figured it
worst
out.
gang ever.
We figured it out.
It's the
Yo,
worst gang
yeah,
ever.
it's they end up because they'll end up getting all the money because people got to live somewhere.
Because then it'll be a different conversation. Like, yo, I had to move. That gang just moved into the neighborhood. Oh, what they do? Did they threaten you with violence? No, I can't afford the rent anymore. That's real gang turf.
Yo, for real,
That's real
that is real
gang.
gang term. That's It's gonna be branded. Like that's gonna be one of the. Oh, they're gonna have a deal with AstroTurf. Every home in the hood. That's on my
Oh,
turf.
oh, oh God. No, but that's just actually hilarious. Like I'm just imagining these people having to move because they can't afford the rent anymore.
Oh my, yeah.
Yo, the 8th Street Vatos moved into our neighborhood. We can't afford it anymore.
Damn, bro, they control from eighth to sixth now.
I know, right? It was just 8th to 7th, and now they're expanding the territory.
Expanding. You see the new condos?
They're incredible. I just wish I could afford them.
Tight
I didn't know you
security.
could make face tattoos in an Armani suit look good, but that gang member just does it.
You think I should join the gang? I gotta work on my elocution though.
Hey Holmes, we heard you would like membership to our very exclusive gang. Well, there's a series of trials and tribulations that you have to succeed in before you can be considered for membership.
How many spelling bees have you crushed on me?
What did you get on your last vocabulary test, Holmes?
LSATs, SATs, MCATs. What are your qualifications?
One of the things necessary for consideration of membership is a 500-page essay describing why you should be a part of our gang essay. Well, how far are we gonna go with this? We got.
I'm very happy stopping right there.
I'm
I
very
I
happy to
honestly should
stop
have been
there.
happy stopping before then. Let's be real.
I had to get in the essay joke. Now
Oh
I'm
my
good. I'm
gosh.
sated now. I just had to get that joke.
SAX2.
SAX2. Oh Lord. Oh man.
How's everybody been? We've been on break for a very long time.
I
Ralph.
feel like we went from break to full blown hiatus.
I mean, yeah, yeah, for sure, yeah. I
uh,
moved, you moved. Well,
yeah, a lot of things have happened.
I mean, I
Oh, we
moved.
can give updates. A lot of things have happened in our
I
personal lives without
mean,
getting too personal.
I've switched day jobs. I can say, I'm still editing that podcast. Oops, all dragons. Episode 25 came out last Tuesday. Uh, Episode 26 will be out not this Monday, but the following Monday. Wink. Um, it's actually I as much as I work on something and sometimes like really get fatigued. I really enjoy the show. Like I really enjoy listening to it. Some of the guests that they have are I find them to be really to have really interesting stories and compelling takes sometimes. Especially if you're into like D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. It's yeah, or like trying to be a DM or a dungeon master or kind of want to know just what it's like in general because it's not like other D&D podcasts where they play D&D. It's more that they talk about
Talk about it.
D&D.
I just want to throw this out there for those who maybe haven't played D&D or haven't been a DM. It's not easy. I just want to throw that out there. It's not easy.
Uh
I remember I'm a part of this D&D group on Facebook, and they post like random memes and like questions and stuff. And I posted this, and it got a lot of comments. I posted that if you play D&D and you've never been a DM, you shouldn't be too critical of your DM. And that post got so many people just like debating in the comments, and it was crazy.
Say that one more time.
I said that if you play D&D and you've never been a DM, you should not be too critical of your DM.
Agree.
And people, there were people like agreeing. There were people like, "Oh, well, we can't have an opinion of our DM just because we've never
You
DM."
can have an
Like,
opinion, but the post said you can't be too critical of them.
yeah, but some people took it as you
Yeah,
can't
they're
have an
taking it
opinion.
personally, is what it is.
Yeah, yeah, it's like there's some people like, "Oh, this is the argument. If you can't do it, you can't judge it." It's like I don't think as a whole, you can't do it, you can't judge it. But you can't judge it too specifically or
Yeah,
critically if you can't do it. Like that's why I'm always like if I see people watching football or basketball and they get mad into the oh he should have went left, oh he should have dribbled twice before he came up with the yo, when's the last time you touched the basketball? When's the last time you touched the basketball? I'm very curious as these the amazing things that you want this
it's
professional
true.
player to do. I wonder can you even get close?
And the last time they saw a layup was when they were laid up on a couch.
Hold on, I'm reading the chat. Critical hit. What if you want to,
Critical hit your DM.
bruh? Imagine, bro. Imagine D&D DM had to change the narrative role. Like if you
Where's
roll
a
from a
good
19,
place to
if you roll a
get
19 or a
started?
20, we completely change the narrative from what
Um,
we're talking
so I
about.
we
Ooh, this is
can
a good
tell
question.
you real quick. So D&D, uh, like a quick synopsis, and I think this is something that is somewhat agreed upon. Is the DM or dungeon master is telling a story, and the players, PCs, player characters, are characters in that story, and you as a player controlling your PC player character roll to determine how successful or unsuccessful you are in whatever it is that you want to do in that story. Uh, I think a good place to get started, honestly, I'm gonna shamelessly plug the podcast that I edit. Um, there's a they actually talk about like really good tips for first time players, first time DMs, as well. In some of their first episodes, uh, it's called "Oops, All Dragons." Um, yeah, if we can, if anyone has or can find the link and drop that in chat, that would be incredible. Ralph, if you could, I would love you forever. I still would anyway. I'm not gonna hold you hostage with my love. Um,
No, it's okay. You're manipulating my love to make this happen. That's fine.
um, but it's and I think like actually getting started playing. I think the best thing
It's
really,
hard because you gotta the thing about D&D is that it's a collaborative game. So
yeah,
it's not like you can just be like, "Oh, I'm going to play." Like you
yeah,
have to get a group together and organize it. But if you want to learn about D&D, what is good is Oops All Dragons, the podcast that Maggie just suggested. And just like you can watch a lot of D&D 101 guides on YouTube. If you literally just look up D&D 101, you'll find videos for days. And I was also going to say because one thing that I've been using lately to describe D&D to people who haven't played before is it's essentially interactive storytelling. That's literally for the most part I feel like that's what it is. Like if you could picture you being if you're not being the DM of course, if you could just picture you and your friends being the main characters to this story that you have influence over, but of course there is like a main narrative going on around it, that is essentially what D&D is. And you can be very, very creative. You can create any kind of character you want and from any kind of background, of course, talking to your DM about it. But it really is a place you can just let your imagination just go crazy. So it is a really, really fun outlet for that.
yeah. It can be whatever you want. Because essentially it just boils down to a set of rules
Yep.
that you can apply to almost anything. Something fun that I am trying to do with some of my friends is I took a city that that we all know relatively well, and I let them be whoever they wanted in that city, and we're just seeing what happens. Right? If they decide that they want to, you know, start a business or something, we could, yeah, I don't know, we could roll some dice and see if they start a business. If they want to try to see if there's a seedy underworld where they gotta, beat up some orcs, we could roll to find out if we find that too.
And you know what? On stream is the perfect time to ask you, when are we playing the next session for that?
Uh, he loves to catch me, like, and try to pull the rug out from under me. Um, I'm I'm off tomorrow. Uh, I
We'll
I
figure
think
it
I
out,
got
bro. Don't
nights
even worry about it. I wasn't trying to put you
this
on
whole
blast
week.
in the podcast.
Ooh, excuse me. My wood.
We'll talk about it
Um,
after the pod. But
yeah, we'll
yeah,
play
no, your
soon.
D
We'll
and
play
D
soon.
game,
That
your D and D game has a lot to do. I'm talking about in general, not just yours.
yeah.
The D and D game has a lot to do with how much effort the DM is willing to put in. If you're lucky enough to have a DM who's knowledgeable, who's very creative in their storytelling, who's able to integrate whatever background or abilities that your character has into the story, it makes it that much more fun. And so, a good DM is very key to having a good experience with D and D.
Well, thank you for the question. That was a awesome segue.
Very much
Or I don't know about a segue, but it was an awesome
prompt.
little
I would say
tangent.
awesome prompt.
Yeah, we
Prompt.
we uh you can tell we enjoy playing the game and talking about it.
It's a great game. Don't be afraid to be a new
Yeah,
DM.
yeah,
That is
that's the thing.
true.
Yeah.
Just take your time, do your research. This isn't something you can just run into. There's
So
plenty.
I would caution,
What?
as long as you understand the rules, you can do whatever. You
True.
don't need to do that much research. As long as you understand the fundamental rules of like how to rule your dice rolls,
Okay.
you are free to do whatever you want. Um,
And so then let's just do general DM tips. So
yeah.
general DM tips. Um, don't be no. You have to be willing to be flexible. You have to be willing to be flexible
Yeah.
because you never know what direction the players are going to take the game.
Yeah, that's 100% true. Tilted says, "Is there any online spaces to play D&D online, or is it better to play in person?" So D&D originated as an in-person tabletop game. It's always gonna be great to play in person if you can, but right now, yeah, like with the internet and how awesome everything is these days, with Roll20, with other virtual tabletops that I know are out there, with Discord, with other online chatting engines. There's a ton of ways to play with groups of people across a ton of formats. Um, I would say do a little bit of time researching each one before you decide. Roll20 is incredibly popular. Um, I'm sure that there are others. Um, I
You should also
use
check out D&D Beyond. It's
Yeah,
a
I
great
was gonna
place
say
to
I
create
personally
characters.
use D&D Beyond to manage my characters and character sheets, and there are other bunch of really cool stuff. And D&D Beyond actually connects to your Twitch account.
Which is
Um,
awesome.
yeah, which is really cool. You can make two free characters um, just to start and make them whatever you want. It's super cool.
And then eventually you're going to get a subscription because you realize being able to make two characters isn't enough.
Yeah,
And then next thing you know, you end up going down this rabbit hole of making characters whenever you have an
and it's
idea
only two ninety
for a
nine to
character.
make an unlimited amount of characters, and before you realize it, you have 200 characters.
Yeah, we've made a
This
significant amount of characters, me and Lobo over here.
I don't know. It's fun to roll the clicky clackies.
Some would call it a problem. Some would call it a hobby. I'm a part of the latter group.
Wait, let me roll in camera
Oh,
frame.
it sounds so good. It just sounds so good.
Yeah, it's a satisfying sound. Uh, yeah, yeah. I Speaking of other things, other older things that are making resurgences, Magic the Gathering.
Oh,
What?
are we getting into this?
I mean, not super
Is
into
this what
it.
we're doing?
I just want to touch on a couple different things. You know, I
Okay, we can touch on the code. You know, we can have a
because
conversation about
Magic the
this.
Gathering is also by the same company.
It's
Um,
true.
yeah, and I think it was a card game that started in the '80s. Right, my brother actually taught me how to play Magic the Gathering, and he was kind of ruthless. But
Kind of. Do you want to tell them that story?
oh man, it's funny, right? Or I think it's funny now. I didn't think it was funny then. Um, but I actually I don't know if this is appropriate to tell. But it's not that
I
bad.
actually be wanting to tell it. You don't have
Yeah,
to.
it's not that bad. Essentially, while I was learning how to play Magic the Gathering, which is a card game, a trading card game, if you don't know, um, uh, that uh, I was taken to play a tournament at my brother's friend's house, and I lost almost immediately. Like it was.
Which makes sense.
I was the first out. I did put damage out on people, right? And but also like I was like 13. I
Yeah.
made like this was a deck that I made. I had way too many cards, right? Like my balance was definitely off. I'm also making, like it was not good. Um I got crushed. I found out after was that the cost of losing was I had to get a haircut by them, and they fucking buzzed my head
Horrible.
in this stranger's bathroom. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I probably did know how to curse, but I was probably still afraid to curse around my brother at the time. I tell you what, I got a lot better at magic after that.
I can imagine so. One would. Because goddamn.
Oh man. And like I think about things like that and I'm like, yo, I realize like watching movies and like watching these TV shows and being like, oh man, those situations are super unrealistic. They're not that far fetched
They're
sometimes.
not.
Like I like with friends and family, but also like just doing shit on my own, right? Like I've definitely. Oh wait, what weird business deals have the terms of losing discussed after the task?
Wait, what? Wait. Yeah, that
Oh
doesn't make sense. Discussing the terms of a loss after the loss has already happened. You should definitely be well informed
yeah,
on what the repercussions of the loss will be
yep,
before you even play the game.
yep, yeah, the haircut for sure.
I can't remember the first. No, the first time I played was with you. No, was with you, bro. And you taught me rough, but you didn't teach me that rough.
Yeah, yeah. I taught Ralph
Fucking fizzle.
with a fizzle. So if you try to do something that you actually can't, you don't get your resources back.
Yeah, just
And
whatever
it's
cards you
you
were
know
trying
and
to
it's
use
null
those
and
to your
void
effect.
because that's
Bullshit.
how I was taught.
I
And it
hated it.
kind
I
of
was so mad.
yeah, it makes you mad, but it also forces you to think about what you're gonna do,
It
right?
does. It does. It's effective. It's as effective as it is irritating.
Yeah, and it's just a card game, right? Like it sucks but it's just a card game. There's no like hard repercussions. Uh,
I guess.
I think the first tourney I played was Gate Crash, and I think
Oh
that was
wow.
with Ralph and another friend of ours,
Oh man.
uh, OT, who
Gate
I
crash.
actually think I probably should have told I was streaming. Um,
You can still tell them.
yeah,
But yeah, dude, I remember Gate Crash. Gate Crash. Oh, so the way Gate Crash was set up, I remember well is because how it was back in the Return to Ravnica set. Yours was Wild TCG. Oh yeah, that was okay. That's awesome. But we had joined a tournament, and within Magic the Gathering, the set that has to do with the fictional city Ravnica, there are guilds within Ravnica. There are 10 different guilds, and in Magic there are 5 different colors, and each color in Magic represents a different play style. So it's like red, black, green, white, and blue. So each of these 10 guilds were different combinations of the two colors, and each of them represented like a different aspect of society. Like one of
yeah,
them was yeah, like the red and blue represented like experimentation, like radical experimentation with technology and science, while green and blue was a radical experimentation with biological components, and just the black and blue was like this very shady information network
yeah.
of like spies and stuff. It was very interesting. And we each had a guild that we had to pick. You had to pick your guild when you got there, and you would play within those colors. It
So
was very very
no,
interesting.
no, you we picked a guild. So we had all guilds. We had all thought of guilds that we liked and that we wanted to
Yeah,
get. And then when you
yeah.
got there, they just presented you with three choices
Oh,
randomly, and you had to pick one of the three and then build from there.
oh, I got mine. So I
Yeah,
guess I forgot that
I
part.
didn't get mine. I
Oh
wanted red
no,
blue, and I ended up having to pick red green.
you had fun with red green though.
Yeah,
That
I did
became one
have
of your
fun with
like.
red green. I'm just saying that wasn't the
But
one
it
that
wasn't
I
your
that I
original
was going
choice.
for.
Okay, you wanted the is it? I
Because
understand.
I've always been a blue player. Blue is more like calculating and like controlling the field more than
The
anything.
border.
Uh, and I did not get that at all. Um, red
Then
green
that would be
is
frustrating.
much more aggressive. Uh,
Red blue can be very aggressive too, because red is where the aggression
well,
is.
yeah, but I was aiming more towards the blue.
Hmm.
Oh, actually, no. I think I was going for blue white because blue white was what I was used to.
I thought
Azorius.
no, our boy O was going for white blue. No, he was
No,
going
I
for
think he was
blue
going
black.
for black blue.
Yeah,
He was going
Demir. He
for
was going for
Demir.
black blue. Yeah,
Ah,
yeah. Yes,
playing card games as a youngin,
Ma-
as more of a
Magic the
youngin.
Gathering has definitely held a special place in both of our lives. I feel.
Yeah.
I still have an unnecessary amount of magic cards in my dwelling. I'm glad I finally have a place to put them because they were kind of annoying to deal with in a box. But yeah, Magic the Gathering was a good time. The funny thing is that like I know friends of mine that were like into Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day, but I was never really into Yu-Gi-Oh. Like I was so bad. I would always tell my friends, and only Yu-Gi-Oh has would understand why this was so bad. I was so bad at Yu-Gi-Oh. I played Man Eater Bug face up.
Mm, mm,
And,
mm,
and if
mm,
you know
mm.
Yu-Gi-Oh at all, you know that's just one of the dumbest things you can do.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I gave up on Yu-Gi-Oh a long time ago.
Mhm.
I have some friends and some streamer friends that like really enjoy it and like kick ass at it. I can't do it. I like
I watched the show. That's what it
Yeah, I
was.
used to
I
watch
didn't
the show
start with
too.
the card game. I started with the show, and the show is not a good representation of how the game's actually played. So I just want to say that right. People they be pulling stuff in that show that you cannot pull it off in the game, no matter what. They be blatantly breaking the rules on the show just for the theatrics of it. Oh, bro, we gotta hydrate.
Oh,
I'm gonna run and get some water. I'll be right back.
thank you. Sorry. Or am I? Yeah, yeah. It definitely wasn't a good representation of the game. I think I made friends and like made trades to try to get the
I am
cards that
back.
I saw on the show. Uh, I was just telling them that one of the things that I did was I made trades and I sought out cards that I saw on the show, even if they were terrible.
Oh,
Right?
so
Like,
you got like
yeah.
Dark Magician and like
Oh man, I was never lucky enough to get one. I got I found a Karibo. I found
nice,
a man eater bug, although I did use it
nice.
correctly. Sorry.
Oh,
Um,
oh, oh. So we're throwing shade now.
I no,
Okay.
I said look, I said sorry.
Uh
Uh,
huh. Right.
um, what else? I think I had like the left leg of Exodia. Yo,
I think I had the
honestly,
right arm.
honestly, if Magic the Gathering made an animated series, I think it would have to be for adults. I think it would
It
have to
would.
be like in a similar vein to like
Vox Machina.
yeah, I was gonna say like Vox Machina, Invincible,
Yeah,
like
Magic the Gathering is crazy.
yeah,
It's
but
a
that
lot
would
more
be
lore focused
incredible
though.
because there's so much lore that's canon for Magic
Yeah,
the Gathering.
yeah,
Yo,
it would
I
be
like. All
fascinating.
right, so my brother, who's in chat, who also streams sometimes, is him drawing bomb ass
That's
paintings like this
Mel.
one right here. Yeah, uh,
What's up,
yeah,
Mel?
and he drew this over here, or he painted this. Uh, but yeah, so oh, you got scammed.
Oh
Oh,
no!
whack.
Congratulations on the baby. No, I didn't get to say that.
Yo,
Congratulations.
she is the cutest. She looks like a grump half the time, and it's the greatest thing. Dang.
Wow.
Yo, but yeah, so he had this book that was based on that was about a character that has a card that it was I think it's his name is like Chain of Oblivion Jesker or something. It was like he had this the story was crazy. It was like he could create these shadow demons in his mind. Like he would meditate and go into like into his head and create these monsters like by imagining them and like coalescing them through shadow and smoke and like pulling them into existence and like there
Whoa.
was like this whole political intrigue thing that was going on with and like you could tell exactly what colors everybody was just by just by the way that they spoke to each other and interacted with each other. It was honestly it was dope. I really enjoyed the book. um and it
I can
actually
tell by how
yeah
excited you
yeah
described it just
it
now.
was
You
yeah
enjoyed
it was
the
super cool.
book.
um I'm actually surprised I haven't made a D&D character inspired by that yet.
An
That's on the
MTG
list.
anime?
Yo, I was actually thinking that on the other side when you said
That would be fire.
yeah, I feel like that would be yo just have Jace Bellerin pull up and just start
Now, hold on.
reversing time.
Have you seen Castlevania?
Yeah.
Imagine an MTG show like Castlevania.
Oh yeah, it'd have to honestly it'd have to be in that sort of vein. It would
That
have to
would
be.
be awesome.
Yeah, great animation, right? You want I think the cool thing too is that anybody would be able to work with the writers.
Yeah.
Like you just be like, yo, like if they could get the permissions for that, like that would be bananas.
That'd be nuts, bro.
right now of the bigger publishers, you could say, like, or the people putting out content like that, who do you think would actually approach Wizards of the Coast for something like that?
Um,
Yo, you know
you
what?
know what? There's
Netflix.
no
I think Netflix
Netflix.
would be
Yeah,
open to it. They just did a show
Netflix
on
would
League of
definitely do
Legends. They just did
it.
Arcane.
True, and Arcane was great for people who don't even play League of Legends. So I love
Exactly.
that show. Yeah, I could see that. That
That'd be
would be really dope.
bananas.
But okay, so here's the question: if they were to do that, I don't know how deep you want to get with this. If they were to do that, what who do you think they would choose as like the main protagonist, like of like the main planeswalkers of the
So
series? Like, who would they go with
you know who could be fun is Chandra.
Chandra would be interesting, like seeing her go to school and learn how to be a pyromancer and everything.
I think having Jace pop in would always be cool,
Yeah,
right? Like having that guy who's in and out of time.
true. You would think. Um, you know what it is? I can't think of a reason why they wouldn't want to. Besides the fact that like I said before, MTG doesn't have like a set protagonist, doesn't have like a set antagonist. It's just a lot of different stories and a lot of different lore. So
I
they
feel
wouldn't
like
even.
that's kind of what makes it though. Like what?
You know, it'd be
So
interesting.
I may I say, if I
Yeah.
may, uh, in this sense, what makes the MTG universe or the planes any different than like the DC universe?
Ooh. Just that it's more mythical in nature. I feel
I
that's
mean,
about it.
yeah, but it's just as prolific, but it's just behind the scenes because it doesn't have as much of a visible narrative. You know,
But
like
wait, let me just get this out there because I thought of it and I don't want to
yeah,
forget.
go for it.
What would be very interesting is if we saw an MTG show and the protagonist was a new planeswalker. Like their spark had
Mm.
just been activated, and now
Oh,
we're learning about the planeswalkers and the spells and all of this through the perspective of a new planeswalker.
okay, yeah. I was just about to say it should be shot through the perspective of the new planeswalker.
Yeah, it'd be a great way to introduce people to the world and the lore because we'd be learning with the protagonists and we'd be seeing them discover their.
Yeah, yeah. Every season could be its whole world.
Yeah, that'd be
Yo,
awesome.
Doctor Strange is a planeswalker confirmed.
Yo, Doctor Strange is definitely a planeswalker.
Fuck man. Oh shit. So that means that the Watcher is a player.
The Watcher is the player.
Is
The
a
Watcher
player.
is the DM.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that'd be sick.
That would be
See,
actually.
I my only problem is I don't think we'd get paid for pitching that unless we had more concrete ideas. All
I
right.
mean, yeah, we could. From what we just talked about, I feel like we definitely could put together a pilot episode and a script for a very loose script for a first season.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because
That'd be
every
badass.
season, every season could literally just be a new plane.
Yeah. Oh man, I feel like there are so many things I'd want to touch on. Yo, all right. I
You could
think
leave story stuff like in the previous plane when they go to the next plane to revisit later.
yeah, exactly. Pick a set, make an outline for a whole season around that set. Yo, matter of fact, you can even you could play a planes chase game for for
And just to see where you go.
yeah, just to see where they start, like, just to see what kind
All
of
right,
changes happen, what kind of
now
chaos
I just
happens.
we're getting really deep into magic stuff here. I don't want to alienate
Yeah,
anybody.
yeah,
So as soon as you said plane chase, I was like, wait, we might be
yeah,
taking this.
yeah, it might be a bit much. It might be. But if you're
Oh
new here,
man,
you can clearly see we nerd out. Um,
heavy nerd out, heavy
but
nerd out.
we
Ooh,
yeah,
idea.
yeah.
How do we feel since we can stay in the vein of nerdy stuff? How do we feel about where the MCU is going at the moment? How do we feel about that?
Where is the MCU going?
So right now, what we have coming up is Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, which is coming off the heels of Far From Home. We
Which I
have
still
Thor:
have
Love
to
and
see.
Thunder.
I like. I'm behind. I'm behind.
You're behind movie wise or show wise?
Movie wise and show wise. Yeah, yeah. It's. I'm sorry. It's.
Okay, so we can put a pin in this and revisit it later. I don't want to give you any. You haven't. Oh, it's so okay. It's so good. I'm biased though. I'm biased when it comes to Spider-Man movies, but this movie is so good. That's what I can say without giving any spoilers. It's so good. There's so much good stuff coming. The fact that they're tapping into the idea of the multiverse makes the possibilities endless. Yeah, send so many people of color. Yes, I love that we're starting to explore. I really want. There's so many things I can't say because I wasn't caught up. All right, we're gonna put a pin in this. We're gonna put a pin in this and revisit later. Shang Chi was
Yo, yeah.
incredible.
Shang
Did you
Chi
see
was
Shang-Chi?
really good. I did see
You watched
Shang
Shang
Chi.
Chi? Okay,
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Oh, so we can talk about Shang Chi. It made me so happy to see like representation, even though it wasn't us. It still felt good to see it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh man, it was.
The bus scene. Can we take a
Yeah,
moment to talk about the bus scene? Because that
bananas.
was
Here.
well choreographed. That was well done.
Oh man, a well choreographed fight. I feel like always goes over so well.
It
It
always
just. It has
does.
to.
You can't replace the feeling that comes from a well. It was a great introduction to
Yeah.
the character. Like I think after they've been having to introduce so many characters over the last like 20 years, I think they're getting better at giving their characters each like introduction that fits
Like
them.
yeah, a distinct introduction.
Yeah, rather than this like stenciled out introduction that we've seen
Yeah.
before. Yeah, it's true. Wait, no, I feel like there was because we had scenes in like we had scenes in San Francisco and we had scenes in some places, but it was mostly
Oh, were
people.
there? I didn't notice that many white people.
When we were doing the scenes
I also
in San
like.
Francisco, like background characters, but
Yeah.
like the main characters were mostly Asian.
Yeah.
That is true.
I most of it has faded from memory if I'm honest.
Yeah, the scenes
I
in
might
San Fran.
rewatch it. I might just
It's on
rewatch it.
Disney Plus, so you can throw it on whenever you want.
Yeah, true.
I also talking about the ones that are on Disney Plus. Black Widow was done very well.
Black Widow was very good.
I really enjoyed Black Widow. I was surprised. I didn't know if I was going to
Mhm.
enjoy it. I was scared they might not put as much effort into it, but whew, Black Widow, they killed it.
Yeah, there was. Uh, I felt the character who played her sister was, or the person who played the sister was really funny.
Yeah. Oh, it did have a
And
James Bond feel,
yeah,
and that
and
makes sense because
I
it's a
like
spy
that.
movie.
I feel like yeah, I feel like it that was the right move.
Yep.
Cuz she's not a superhero, you know, or she's not like a super powered superhero, right? Like she's all grit and finesse, you know,
Yep.
like it's self broken down and built. You know, like
Literally
that's what
that.
the
Yeah.
character is, and I feel like they did that right. They did that
You
right.
know what's a very funny thing?
Huh.
In Black Widow, in the scene when she was in her little trailer before she ended up leaving because it ran out of propane, she was watching a James Bond movie and actually saying the lines word for word as she was watching it.
Oh,
So I thought that
I
was
forgot
very
about that.
interesting.
That's dope.
I'm dead serious now. You could go watch it again. Before she goes and the whole thing happens with on the bridge and stuff, Literally, she's sitting down watching it on a laptop and like saying all the words while eating little snacks. It was great. It was so
That's
great.
wild.
I'm not sure which movie. I'm not sure which James Bond movie it was, but it was definitely a James Bond film. Oh man, but yeah, Black Widow was great. The shows have been great. Have you? You're still behind on the shows, right, bro?
Yep. I've seen Loki. Uh,
Okay,
I started watching the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
cool.
I haven't started pretty much anything else.
You haven't watched WandaVision yet?
Nope.
Ooh, you guys to watch
So
Wand.
I I got this thing, man, that I like. I can't watch stuff while it's still being hyped
Okay.
because I like if my expectations are high and it doesn't meet my expectation, I say it's worse. Like,
Yeah,
or I
I get.
feel like it comes off as worse for me.
Well, the
Um,
WandaVision hype has kind of died down, so I feel like
which is why like I'll probably start that pretty soon. I just haven't like I actually it's funny. I actually just recently crushed Kim's Convenience, which has the actor from Shang Chi.
I think I'm like 2 seasons in. I really like.
Yo, I don't know about you, but by 2 seasons in, I had already cried like once or twice.
It has some good stuff. Hawkeye should have more hype because
Yo,
Hawkeye
yeah,
was great.
I wanted to watch Hawkeye, but I that's why I started watching all the other stuff because I didn't want to watch it without like without
We
having
all
it.
watched the stuff before, and I get you. Nah, but Hawkeye was fire. I don't know why it's not getting as much hype. It was done very well. The story was done very well. It gave
I'm
us a
looking
lot more
forward to
character development for Clint. It introduced Kate wonderfully. It left a lot of things that can be built upon. It did a great job with Hawkeye.
what was that about?
Hey, my boy Ray's
Ooh,
in
ooh,
the
ooh, ooh.
building. Yes, no, Hawkeye definitely needs more hype. Yeah, he is. No,
Yeah,
Jeremy Renner
yeah.
is a really good actor.
He's fantastic.
He's great. He's a treasure we don't speak about as often as we should.
Okay.
Um, trying to think, is there any other Marvel stuff? I'm
All
trying to
right.
think of the recent stuff that we have.
So
Like
if
what?
you had to substitute for any Marvel character, like if you had to step in for them, right? You gain their powers, their abilities, their drawbacks, but you're still you. Who would you want to step in for?
You want to answer this question first because mine's pretty obvious.
Oh, I guess. Well, no, let's go with yours because I haven't thought of mine yet. I just thought of the question.
So there is a not too well known Marvel character that
This is gonna be
their home
super subtle, I'm sure.
is very not very
Nobody's gonna
known.
be able to
People
guess
know a lot.
this.
Marvel character that's located in New York City. He originally hails from Queens, and he has abilities that mirror a certain arachnid. And I would happily, I would happily take over for him for some time if I were able to get those abilities. Wasp, man, well, a wasp is not an arachnid, so we're just gonna go ahead and exclude that choice. And yeah, so that's the one I would pick.
All right, yeah. Uh,
Daddy
yeah,
long.
that that surprises no one.
This becomes the
Anyway,
game of saying the wrong answer on purpose.
fucking.
Bro,
Um,
Spider Man, bro, you already know.
yeah, yeah, and everybody knows it. No, and everybody knows it.
Ooh, can we stop and talk about that for a second? Nell just brought up a very interesting discussion, but I think we should let Lobo have his time to pick his hero. I do want to come back on that though. I want to come back and touch on that.
Yeah. Honestly, my favorite like Marvel mutant
Ooh.
has always been Iceman.
Of course, you want the low key Omega level mutant. Jesus Christ,
That's just yeah. That's always been good old what Bobby Fischer,
Bobby
Bobby
Drake.
something.
I think it's Bobby Drake.
Yeah, Bobby Drake.
Yeah,
But yeah, all right.
but
You were saying, and
okay.
answers from the crowd as well is always welcome.
This is the crowd as well. Okay, so we're gonna talk about Miles versus Peter, and I'm just gonna show this. I am qualified to answer this because I have read the original Miles run. I have one of them right here, so I feel like I'm qualified to talk about this. Now, when people have been talking about Miles lately, they have been talking about the Into the Spider Verse Miles, which is a great Miles, but it's technically not the original Miles. Like there were some tweaks that they did to the character for the movie, and those tweaks did make him a lot more
That's a hot take we're
endearing.
gonna talk about in a second. You continue.
Huh?
No. You continue. I'm taking notes so we can talk about that hot take.
So it's he's a lot more endearing now. Like for example, he wasn't as anxious in the comic, which made him a lot more relatable in the movie. He wasn't a graffiti artist, which gave him a lot more character in the movie. Um, his father wasn't a police officer, which was another thing that they changed in the movies that made him a lot more interesting. But a lot of it was the same. People had an issue with Miles because Miles didn't have, in the comics at least, Miles didn't have too much of a personality. Like people didn't, there weren't any traits to Miles' personality that you could point out and be like, oh, that's how he is. He was just like he didn't have enough like separating him from Peter Parker. Now in the movie, they gave Miles a whole personality overhaul that was very, very. It was harkening to the Ultimate Spider-Man, the Ultimate Comic Spider-Man, Peter Parker. It took a lot from that, so that's what made on-screen Miles a lot more interesting of a character. And seeing him struggle and gain his powers in a more earned way, because usually in these kind of films, the character will usually get the character will usually get their costume and be off the feet as a hero by usually before the halfway mark of the film. In Into the Spider Verse, you really watched him earn it, which really made him more sympathetic to the character. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
you saw why he deserves to be it, and then you
Yeah.
saw him get it. So that's why it made that moment that much more. Oh my god!
Yeah.
So yeah, but Miles versus Peter, if we're talking comics, then unfortunately I have to give it to Peter. If we're talking on screen, oh wait a minute. You know what's the funny thing is that I want to say in the comics he had a bit of a personality in the beginning because the 1960s Peter, people don't talk about it enough. He was a hothead. He was a hothead. He was kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? Like he didn't his classmates didn't like him because he always seemed so above everything.
We got a double hot take here.
With double hot take. All
Bayard
right, on to
says
the next hot take.
whichever one has sneak attack is Ralph's choice.
Trevor has
Uh,
sneak attack. Spider Man definitely has sneak attack. That man's
yeah,
stealthy as hell. Spider
hundred
Man's
percent.
sneak attack is like his sneak is
He's
like
got
plus
range
20.
sneak attack, which is
Yup.
like base range sneak attack. Like he doesn't even need a weapon to do it. It's just automatic, and it's a pull
He,
too. No
it's a
mames.
pull or it incapacitates.
Yeah, that should be illegal. You can't make yourself Spider Man
His
entangled.
AC is ridiculous because he's impossible to touch.
Mm,
He can give in more hits in one turn than a monk or a fighter.
no,
So it's a
illegal,
lot. It's a
illegal.
lot going on.
Anyway, we're not figuring out how to build Spider Man as a D&D character.
It's been done, and
Yeah,
even so, you can't capture all it is to be Spider.
Yeah, man. Iceman literally don't go burr, but he go burr. You know?
Iceman is broken.
Yeah.
He is
Yeah.
completely broken. You can make Iceman in D&D and it still wouldn't be as broken as
Yeah.
Iceman in
Yeah. It'd be
comic.
it's impossible. Oh, so homie said Miguel O'Hara is better. What's your opinion on Miguel O'Hara?
I know Miguel's Harrow's power set very well, but as far as his personality, I don't know too much about. What I do find interesting is that he actually has, like, you remember the Tobey Maguire film where they explained that his wall crawling were little like thorns that came out of his fingertips.
Yeah.
So that's not actually how Spider-Man climbs walls. He can kind of, it's hard. He has a low tier control over like attractants because of like a bioelectric aura that he has around his body. So he's actually just making himself more attractive to the walls and things that he's holding
Dang.
on to rather
I'm gonna
than
make myself more attractive.
it's no, but he's literally manipulating his bioelectric aura and making himself attached to things. That's why he can do it through his clothes. It's like a static clink.
Yeah.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
It's just like that. It's just like that. And that's why Miles, he has that, but to a higher level. That's why he can manipulate
Why he can
electricity.
do the yeah, well, yeah,
The Venom
manipulate electricity. He does his what does he call it? The
the the Venom
Venom.
sting.
There you go. That one.
Yeah, the Venom sting, yeah. And he's
SMA one.
touched people. It's just like a delay. Like he'll hit them and there'll be like a delay and then just like electricity. Like, oh,
Yeah. That's right. Working title is also bilingual.
true.
The more
It
you
is
know.
bilingual.
Por
It's
más que
bilingual just
sepas.
like Miles Morales.
Heyo. Um,
So yeah,
and
that's
also from
that's
New
why he
York,
can
like
stick on
Miles.
walls. I don't know why I started. There was a reason why I was saying about him being able to stick to walls. Oh yeah, well I was talking about Miguel O'Hara. Miguel actually has talons on the tips of his fingers.
Yeah, I just read that.
That's why he can stick to stuff. He like digs his talons into things, and he actually has.
Oh my gosh.
I think his eyes are super sensitive to light. Like he has to wear sunglasses, and I believe he actually has talons, not talons, but like fangs. He has fangs that he can bite people with and actually give them a dose of a toxin that can incapacitate them.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know if he has spider sense. I remember hearing somewhere that he didn't have spider sense, and that he makes up for it with his like increased speed because he's a lot faster than other Spider-Man. I
Uh,
could be wrong on that.
let's see. Powers and abilities. Uh,
We have our researcher Lobo Kid.
he's got the superhuman strength, the speed, accelerated decoy. He can move so fast that he leaves a body double behind for enemies to
Oh,
attack.
he has the after image technique. Okay.
Yep, this man is he's working on his ninjutsu. Uh, he's got
Right.
superhuman agility, reflexes, stamina, telepathy. Uh,
Telepathy.
yep.
Okay.
The limits of his telepathy has yet to be explored. Superhuman durability, accelerated vision, accelerated healing factor,
Yeah.
longevity, talons and
Okay.
fangs,
Yep.
spinnerets.
So he has natural spinnerets.
Yep.
Okay, he has organic webbing. That's something
They're
else I would.
organic and chemically identical to real spider silk.
Ooh.
Genius level intellect, skilled hand to hand combatant, computer skills,
Yes.
marksmanship. But yeah, optical photosensitivity, speech
Ooh.
difficulty, has the
Because of his
use of
teeth.
his fangs, which produce the non lethal venom. However, he cannot
Yeah.
retract them.
Yeah.
Uh,
He had to learn to speak in a way that avoided his teeth.
Spinneret blockage, and post traumatic stress disorder.
That's fair. What's crazy is how he ended up becoming a spider person. It wasn't by a spider bite. It was his boss actually got him addicted to a certain drug that the addiction actually affects your DNA. That's how deep it affects you. And so he was addicted to it, and so him and his partner, Miguel and his partner, decided to work in the lab to see if they could get it out of him the addiction. So they put him through a process having to do with radiation, I believe, and they were using spider DNA as a base, and that's why it made him Spider Man. It also cured his disease, but it made him Spider Man.
Oh my gosh. See, kids, this is why you don't mess with chemicals that you don't fully understand. All right, stick
Listen, you
to
could become a
the
superhero or die. You don't know which way it's gonna go.
yeah, man. Stick to the slugs and the birds that you're used to.
Facts.
I know
Nah,
that's
that
your.
was
I'm not gonna keep it going.
drugs in the
Yeah,
future are gonna be
yo,
lit.
honestly, yeah. Can you imagine? They're gonna be specifically tailored to your, like to your chemistry.
Bro, that means nobody can steal your stash.
Yeah, yeah, I mean they can. It just won't hit them the same.
That's crazy.
It's gonna be wild.
You know what drug that I've seen in that I saw in media that I'm very interested in trying?
Well,
Have you ever seen Watchmen, the show?
I've seen Watchmen.
The nostalgia that they had.
Uh, I don't know.
It allows you to perfectly revisit as if you're watching it a memory. And I would love to be able to do that for certain memories. That'd be really cool.
I I think yeah, I might be down to do that to try to remember specific things, but I don't know. Like I'd be afraid of like forming that habit because I don't know
That
how I
can
feel
be
about that.
addicting. You'd really have
But
to.
yeah, uh,
You'd have to be careful with it.
Bayard says, I mean the high you get from stealing someone else's drugs. Uh, because we were saying that someone can't steal your stash because they can't get
Yeah,
as high from it, and he was saying except for the high that you get from stealing someone else's drugs. That's always
that's
a rush.
hilarious. Of just stealing another person's drugs, take them and die.
Wow, what that was
Because they weren't designed for you. You stole somebody else's
that's
drugs
not
and you died.
that's not.
Bro, I could see a drug dealer like having his stash and then having like a decoy stash that's like laced with like fentanyl. And then he just has his stash like really away safely, and then the fentanyl stash is just out and about. So if somebody steals it, they just get all messed up.
That's I I don't like it, but
I don't like
it
it either.
probably happens.
Yeah, it probably
Or
does.
or
Oh yeah, what's that? Oh, green light, green light.
yeah,
Yeah, and
green
Black
light.
Lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't take that. I wouldn't
Yeah,
take
I
that.
wouldn't take it either. Although, damn, bro, I like part. I part of me really feels like if I had, if I woke up tomorrow and had powers, I would like, I would sometimes begrudgingly use them for good, right? Generally use them for good or not use them at all, right? Because I don't want to like have an unfair advantage, but also like I'd be like, ah, fuck, all right, here, I'll help you, right, and like take care of shit.
Oh, I
Uh,
would definitely be an anti-hero if I had a power.
yeah, I think that's technically what I would be, right? Is because it's like I wouldn't want to help people. I would just want to do my own thing.
Like no bullshit. If I got a phone call and someone said, "Oh, what is it? A building is on fire. What? We need your help." And then I would just like stop for a moment and be like, "Okay, so firefighters get paid to do this. What's my incentive here?"
Oh God, this was so weird. All right, so I'm sorry. This is I just had a weird I just had a weird moment with Auto Mod on Twitch because it says
What?
because Nell was talking about the show
Uh,
how it ended up being a government experiment to kill black people and make super soldiers, but Twitch doesn't know that he's talking about the show. So it asked me if I wanted to allow the comment, and by allowing the comment, it just added permitted term kill black people.
kill black people. No.
That's that's not what we want to
You
encourage.
need to take that off as a permitted
That's what
term.
I'm trying to do.
Fucking Aryan Nation pulls up. We found a safe place.
Yeah, to
No.
say paving, brother. Oh my
Appreciate it, brothers.
gosh.
Appreciate you making a safe space for us. We can't. We don't have too many places on Twitch we can come speak freely, so we appreciate
All of our spaces are on a telescope.
it. We do not want to kill black people. Are you still using the term? Ah,
We
this
do not
is
want.
horrible. Is there a way to see the
Uh,
extent for
huh?
channel?
That's a good question.
Listen, you know what this is? I'm gonna tell you what this is right now. This is a post-stream issue. That's what
Yeah,
this
you're right.
is.
You're right. This is a post-stream issue. Although I'm sure that we could probably Google search
We could, but
if
like,
if
let's
there's a way to see the accepted terms per channel.
we have
Um,
a handful of people watching this. Let's keep them entertained.
yeah, yeah. That's oh my gosh, man. Could you imagine?
Jeez,
All
bro,
right.
just
How
the
about you guys in the chat? I haven't. I still haven't heard about what you. Okay, so what Marvel character would you like to step in for? Like you take
Ooh.
over their powers and stuff, but you also have to fight like their villains.
Oh, that means I gotta fight like Scorpion and
Yeah, actually, I should look up who are some.
Iceman villains. That
Yeah,
all the X-Men villains. So you'd be
yeah.
fighting Magneto, you'd be fighting Pyro, you'd be fighting the Brotherhood of Villains. So Quicksilver, Toad, the Blob.
Nah, screw those guys. I'm in Omega level.
You'd be fighting the big villains too, like Apocalypse.
Damn it. I want someone who has very little
Very
beef.
little beef. I want
You
to
know
have my
what?
powers
That's fair, bro.
killed.
He's got a
I'm
family to think
tired.
about, bro.
He doesn't have his powers and chill.
Oh
Like he doesn't
shit!
want to fight
I was
anymore.
gonna say, damn, can't even do Squirrel Girl these days, bro. She was scrapping with Galactus, wasn't she?
Scrapping with Thanos too, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. Oh man.
I said I'm tired. That's amazing. I'm trying to think who has very little beef in the Marvel universe.
Probably plant animal mineral man.
Plant, animal, mineral man. Oh god. I'm not trying to fly into fights. I'm trying to fly to Tahiti.
Be
He said,
Be
I'll
Coulson.
but
Yeah.
then his powers are trash. Nah, he wants good powers.
Yeah, he said
Who's a
be
pacifist? Do we have any Marvel heroes that are pacifists? Do we have any of those?
I mean, hmm.
This is a hard.
Other than like the Watchers, or like the
Wolverine
people who are
has
above.
all the beef. I don't know why you
Yeah,
even said
Wolverine seeks the beef.
Wolverine has decades of beef. Yeah, he might have centuries
This man has aged beef. This man has
aged
jerky.
beef,
This man has jerky at this point.
bruh. Andrew Garfield. That's Spider Man still. He got villains. I'm really trying to think of a chill Marvel hero.
I don't know
Um,
that.
who's a
Colossus.
Marvel
I feel
hero
like
who's just
Colossus doesn't end up getting
Colossus?
into too much.
I feel like if you're on the X Men, you just by default get all the X Men villains.
Yeah, but you don't get sent on all the missions. Like
This,
they don't bring everybody to every fight.
yeah, but everybody's coming to the Apocalypse fight. We need
I
that
mean, yeah, they
support.
have no choice. Unless you're like, "Oh, I'm out. I'm not an X-Man no more.
Oh, you know
I'm an
who
XX-Man."
Nell can be? Nell can be Darwin.
Hold on. Darwin.
Darwin. He's from the X Men too. Darwin is OP and not OP at the same time.
Here, let's see.
Our
Oh,
research department is on it.
oh, it's
Storm does have her own villains, funny enough. She made some villains out in Africa, I believe.
oh, that's right.
You'd
Can
be Luke
we?
Cage. You're just trying to smash all the women in the Luke Cage show. That's what you're trying to do,
Oh my God. Super adaptation. Powers are just self protection and a death harbinger.
bro.
Able to
Literally,
detect when someone's dying. Oh,
bro. He can
immortality. Yeah.
adapt to anything. He's OP. Like I remember hearing about a comic. There was a comic where Death was fighting against him, so his mutant abilities gave him the power equivalent to Death, so he could fight Death. That's why he became a Death Harbinger at one point.
It's bananas.
And I think I remember there was during the World War Hulk
Yeah.
storyline, Hulk came to Earth and Hulk was destroying everything. And literally Darwin was trying to fight him. You know what Darwin's powers did? They teleported him a state away from where Hulk was. Because his power said the best way to protect you is to have you not be here.
Yo, that's bananas. That's. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Darwin's OP. We saw him in X Men First Class, but it was a very nerfed version of him. Yeah, Darwin's dope. Darwin's dope. Darwin's really dope.
Yeah, he like the three. He only had three powers when I looked it up, and one was adapt to any situation. Uh,
Because that's what it is.
one was immortality or near immortality, and the other one was I forget because the
There's
first two.
no point in
Yeah,
beefing with this man.
yeah.
You try to drown him, he'll grow gills. You try to set him on fire, he'll gain
No,
flame.
no. He what was it? He turns into pure energy. I'm
Yeah, he
like
tried to
that's an
yeah.
extreme reaction to being thrown into fire. Okay, turn
I
into
don't
pure
know if that was
energy.
him. I think they were trying to I think they were literally trying to disintegrate him, and then he turned into pure energy to get away from it or something. I don't know.
Bananas,
But he's OP. He literally can have anything to keep him alive.
right? Yeah,
No, but
yeah.
he said specifically you'll have to pick up from where they are. So any shit that they've started, you're gonna have to deal with.
Yeah, but then once you deal with it, right, you won't have to deal with it again. I feel like.
What do you call dealing with Magneto's beef? Ending the X Men?
I'm
You
just
just want
saying.
go assassinate the X Men and you'll be fine.
Or, you deal with Magneto. Remove magnets from the equation.
Ooh, here's a good question.
Speaking of which, I
What?
just want to say,
Go for it.
I think it was in. I forget in which one of the X Men's it was, but him pulling the iron out from that person's body.
Oh.
Completely implausible. But I'm not going to get into it. Let's move
But
on.
wait, did you not see what happened in the scene before that?
Yeah, but I think I watched something and they that amount of iron in his system would have probably if it was enough to make balls that size, it probably would have killed him before he went to work.
That's fair. Could be like, yo, I'm
Yo,
trying to teach
yeah, yeah. Hey
the
man,
violence no
hey
more.
man, I don't want no hands no more. All right, y'all can do y'all thing. Y'all can resolve y'all problems in the streets if you want. I'm trying to preach in the seats.
Bruh,
Okay.
I'm imagining Magneto giving like a whole press conference.
Yeah.
Like, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, I have seen the light. I no longer want mutant superiority over human beings, and I promise to no longer meddle in your affairs.
There's actually one guy in the conference hall that laughs like that. It just echoes.
Like the Bloods and Crips do?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
They're sitting on opposite sides like Ralph and I right now. It's just the X Men and what's Magneto's side?
The Brotherhood of
There
Villains.
you go. The
Brotherhood
Brotherhood
of
of Villains. There's always that one person trying to awkwardly smile at the other side. Hit me out. Hit me out.
We ain't hearing shit. We ain't hearing shit. You
What are
know.
we listening for? Alternate universe.
Uh-oh.
I'm concerned.
I'm also concerned. Half of Marvel heroes are. Oh God, no! All right, so Spider Man's blood, Deadpool's blood.
Oh
I'm
gosh.
sorry, going down the list of whoever wears
Oh
red.
my
They're
gosh.
all blood.
Iceman is a Crip.
Iceman's definitely a crip.
I guess original Wolverine is a Latin king.
Nah,
Uh,
we doing Bloods and Crips. We gotta try to put them somewhere.
I guess modern day Wolverine, because he's yellow and blue now, he'd be Crip.
Okay, so you'd be Crip. This is so dumb. Um, Daredevil is a blood.
The Hulk ain't fucking with nobody. Nobody fucking with him.
No, no, no. The Hulk wears purple pants. Purple falls under Crips.
But
So
Green falls under Blood.
green falls under blood. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
represents money. Don't
I
ask me
ain't.
how I know that. I don't know
I'm
how
not
I
gonna.
know that.
I'm not gonna ask you how you know that. Okay. So then Hulk is unaffiliated because
Yeah,
he could be on the team anyway.
he basically do what he want.
You do what do you want.
Uh, I'm not low key gang affiliated. We go see you see we going by color. We going by creed and lifestyle because that really yeah I am Twitch
So
affiliated.
then
Gang
a
gang.
bunch of them wouldn't be gangs. A bunch of them wouldn't be in the Bloods and Crips.
See now we're looking at I guess yeah I guess we could look at creed and lifestyle as well. But I don't know either of their creeds or lifestyles all that well. Like we could I could say a lot for the characters. I can't really say much for thank you for the sub. Thank you for the sub. But I can't really say much for
No, no Lobo trying to distance himself from the gang affiliation accusations have made earlier stream. I just want to make note of that.
yeah, see see 100%. And
Yeah, that's what.
that's yeah.
Oh my God, that is so sad and true. That all these gang members are poor people looking for family.
Yeah.
Shit.
And I think it ultimately, and we're gonna pull it into the after school special segment of the show,
Oh
is
no.
that ultimately uh, these bouts of like violence
You finished
and
your Sam. Use that.
okay it feels like these bouts of like these of violence and like outrage while sometimes whether or not they are substantiated in the short term in the long term it always feels like if there was someone there for them when they needed family they wouldn't have sought out a family whose affection is performative acts of violence and and other things and that's obviously if that is what that gang is mostly about um, I don't think that we can blame people seeking family uh, I think I think the blame has to be on the acceptance of it's sort of the ignoring the cause, right? We look at the effect as a society, like we look at all of the bad things that people end up doing, as
I'm back.
opposed to we look at all the bad things people are doing as opposed to trying to cure the reason it's happening, right? People don't just flip out and start like attacking each right like people don't join gangs to beat the shit out of other people. People join gangs to be in a family. You know, beating the shit out of other people comes from them messing with your family, right, or a perceived slight against your family, right? So it's weird, man, because like that just goes to show that human biology and psychology begins at the family level.
Yep.
We're so willing to commit to all these different phases of our lives while seeking that comfort of family.
Well, remember that us as humans, we're social creatures. So finding like a group or like finding a community is definitely something that's
Yeah,
ingrained in us, I feel, at the DNA level.
yeah,
And
it,
family is the first group that you have assigned to you. Like you don't have to seek that group. That group is there. That group is the first group that it's crazy actually now that I think about it. That group can your family can teach you whether consciously or unconsciously moving forward how you're going to treat any other group you become a part of.
yeah, yeah, and I think uh, things like that, like you end up having to take if you ever become conscious of it, right? Because a lot of people go through their entire lives and never become conscious of that.
Hmm.
If you do become conscious of it, uh, like how do you like becoming conscious of it and then confronting that, right, and trying to work on that is something that I think most people are due should
I mean,
try at the
they
very
should.
least.
They
Uh,
should, but they need a reason to try to confront it. If they don't have a reason to confront it, some people are just content with living their lives with whatever past trauma or negative
I mean,
influences that they had in
yeah,
their youth.
if you're used to what you're used to, right? Like if you don't feel like you have a reason to change something up, if it
Yeah.
doesn't feel like there's a reason to do so, you really won't.
Like it's crazy how some people can have something. We did. And that is how working title works. Now,
Yeah.
that is exactly how this podcast works. It can go any which
Thank
way
you.
that it needs
Thank
to
you.
go. We appreciate
Thank
that.
you. Thank you.
No, it's honestly crazy. Like there are some people who really can have the most toxic tendencies that were bred in them from their youth, and they see no reason to change.
Yeah,
They'll be like, "Hey, this is how I live my life up until now, and I don't see a reason to change."
it's hard to confront. I feel like if and like you were saying, right? If they feel like they don't have a reason, if you if you are someone who is within that realm, right? Who's like, I'm happy. I'm happy exactly the way that I am. Like, if people don't like me, they can just fuck off. But then you look around and you have no one around you.
Yeah,
That's not them, you know.
it's not.
And it's not a matter of damning yourself and being like, I'm a terrible person. I suck. It's a matter of go get perspective. Go like even if you don't like match with it perfectly, try to get perspective. Try to like watch videos of people going to new places if you're too afraid to go to new places yourself, right?
Hmm.
Eventually build up to like checking out, like you don't even have to travel far, right? Just go to new parts of your city or go to new cities near your city, and you start to see that like you're one person in a sea of many, and you start to gain perspective, right? That I feel like that is a very subtle, a very easy but great jumping off point. I would say uh, not even a dock. It's like a beach into a lake of becoming a better person. Is
Yeah,
just slowly walking into it, right? You're slowly sinking yourself into empathy, into other people's lives. Like the more you consume, the more you're gonna be like, oh, that shit's interesting. I want to learn more about that, and you learn to take an interest in other things and other people, right? And that starts to help build you up as a person perspective.
you know what
Like,
I find very interesting, the idea of like looking back. on your interactions with people and how that may have affected them. Like I have a close friend of mine that in his past he wasn't what's the word I'm looking for? He wasn't the most pleasant in his dealings with the opposite sex.
Mm.
So, and I don't mean like physically or anything. I mean this is very true. That's a bar.
I'm
When
looking forward to traveling.
so he in his dealings with women hasn't been. He didn't treat them well. Nothing physical, but could be levels of manipulation, levels of not showing the amount of caring he was supposed to show versus what the women were showing him. And he was a bit of a player and a bit of a womanizer in his past.
A
Now,
raconteur,
huh?
a bit of a raconteur.
A
Have you
bit,
ever
a bit, And it's crazy to me now to see him after all these years. He's really been able to look back on how he's treated these ladies and think of it as how and realizing how wrong it was. Like I remember me and him were talking one time and he's saying, you know what's crazy? Just thinking about the fact that there's a woman out in the world that she isn't the same. Like her life is more difficult and her she has a hard time connecting with people because of me. And I was like, damn.
Yeah, sometimes like I think it's very interesting. Understanding good things about yourself is very important, but
Hmm.
you also have to be able to recognize when you did something wrong
Yeah.
and really take that in. Because if you don't, you're apt and quick to do it again and again and again. Okay.
Yep.
Uh, I truly feel like the more people in general reflect,
Hmm.
the better we can be. Like the more we move forward, like our collective consciousness.
Yeah.
Because if we're all, I wouldn't say you have to think about everybody else in everything that you do all the time, but I think you have to consider the ramifications of certain actions.
You know, you really do. Self awareness and self reflection are two things that I feel like you need to be a complete human being.
Yeah.
I feel like you need these two things. You need to be able to sit down with yourself and think about the things that you've done and the ramifications of your actions and the potential situations that you could cause. Because it really is the the butterfly effect in real time. Like you don't know what anything that you could do in relation to other people could affect what
Oh,
their next step is, could affect what their next decision is. Like
yeah.
you really have more influence on your universe than we give each other credit for.
Yeah, and that I think is massive. I think that sentence actually is massive. We have more effect on the universe than we give ourselves credit for.
Yes, sir.
Like it's crazy to think that the way that and in the wow, sorry, I'm having thoughts and my mind like it's
Your mind is
yeah,
going.
bro, it's you know
Your
how I
mind
get
is
my
going. It's all
like
good,
it's
man.
reverberating through my head right
It's
now
one of those thoughts that could cause another thought and another thought and
because
just keep expanding and yeah.
even like when you look at physics and the way that time space is mapped out is
Hmm.
every action that you make literally branches out into like a
Yeah.
sea of possibility within those
Hmm.
two, so like literally everything that you do, every action that you take, especially when it comes to like it comes upon someone else or interacts with someone else, you can literally change the trajectory of someone's life with any
Yep.
interaction, with any singular interaction. And being aware of but unafraid of that possibility is so important, right? Because if you become afraid of that possibility, you'd never interact with somebody again. But if you're aware of that possibility, you will work harder to create positive interactions between you and other people. And that's going to
Exactly that.
create a higher quality of life for you.
What is it? I
Yo,
remember
are we
watching
life
this
coaches?
video.
What is happening?
We're not life coaches, all right. We're just having an in-depth conversation about how important positive interactions are. I love it. I love every second of it. No, I was gonna say because of just harkening on something that you said earlier. I remember watching this video. This is back when I was in my really huge spiritual kick when I was getting into things about the universe. I was getting into how much does this cost? It's like 2 hours of life coaching.
Just your
So
participation and maybe a
that's
sub
all
if
it
you like it.
costs.
Wink.
Exactly that. But he was this back when I was in my huge spiritual clique, and he said that what's one thing we must realize as people that is that we're constantly shifting through different dimensions. And I was like, what? He said every decision you make, every decision that you don't make puts you in a different space versus had you made the opposite decision. Like if you chose to
Mm.
say thing number one instead of thing number two, there's a universe where you said thing number two, but you're currently in the universe where you said thing number one.
Mm.
If you expanded on thing number one, or if you made that a shorter statement, those two universes are now split. Like it just keeps happening and happening and happening.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you showed me that video.
Possibly,
All this to
it's a
say,
very interesting concept.
uh, is just yeah, being mindful of your actions is probably the best way to have a better life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a very cool way to think of it. We don't. I feel like sometimes we don't take a minute to realize all the decisions and non-decisions and just situations that caused you to be where you are today.
So just a point about that, and then a point adjacent but separate from that.
Okay.
Um, I I've always tried to be grateful for every decision that I've made, even if I felt some sort of pain or anguish afterwards,
Hmm.
because I've always thought of every decision I've made has led me to where I am today.
It's true.
That's always been my point on that. And uh, adjacent to it, we're thinking about where we are and where we came to be. Yo, one of my favorite things to do these days has been to just stand outside at night and look at the stars and just
Yeah.
realize how small we
We
are
are in
in the
relation to the
in the
universe.
grand scheme of things.
Oh yeah.
Like it
Oh
really
yeah.
helps, like especially like when I get anxious sometimes, and I like when there are big thoughts and big ideas that are overwhelming. It's nice to know that it doesn't fucking matter, like everything can be handled if you take your time,
Yeah.
just relax.
Yeah.
And also the stars and planets look amazing.
This is very true. No, honestly, it's very true. We unfortunately growing up in New York City, we didn't get too many situations with.
Oh man,
Oh, that would Noel. Oh, bro, you would have a
I
great time
wonder
at Burning Man. You would have a great time. I know you would.
when is it again? Uh,
Man is gonna be in the desert complaining about the heat the
Yo,
whole
you know
time.
what though? It's a dry heat though, and I have my Camelback.
Oh man,
That could be cool. Um, I don't know.
love you too, man.
All right, bro. Love you.
Good talking to you. Thanks for coming.
Love the baby. Love Ali. You guys are fantastic.
Oh man,
Last week of August. Hmm. I will have thoughts.
that's gonna be put in the back of your mind for sure.
Yeah, for real.
You just be hanging on the desert having festival baddies rubbing your beard.
I, I don't know if if that's the case. But we definitely won't fight the situation.
You won't fight it.
And
Oh man,
so,
bro, you just gotta talk to him about this kind of stuff that we're talking about like the dimensional shifting and how we are in the world and all that.
man,
Brushing your beard immediately. Just have this conversation
yeah,
out
nah,
there.
I see. My thing is like once I start talking about stuff like this, I put myself in a portal, and I just like I it's I put myself in the thoughtscape.
Hmm.
So I think and the thoughts just come out, and when people tell me their thoughts, I see them and interact with them. That's it.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah,
Anyway, I it has been a little over an hour and a half.
yeah, we're coming
Uh,
up on an hour 45.
I just want to say, wow, thank you so much for everybody pulling up.
Appreciate it.
This has been wonderful. Um, Ralph, anything you want to
Yes,
say
sir.
before we
Before
biggity
we
bounce and
sign
diggity
out,
do?
well, like my co-host here said, thank you everybody for coming. We really appreciate you hanging out and trying to hang on to the train that is our thought processes because those be kind of all over the place. But does always generate some interesting conversation. That's for sure. Are we gonna try to be here Sunday after next?
I'm gonna see what my schedule is for my day job, but I am definitely gonna try to say yes to that.
All right, so
Um,
we're definitely gonna try to do Sunday after next.
you guys can follow us on our social media below our faces and next to the chat box. Um, and we should be able to update you guys. Th- that's over there is Ralph's meme page as well as his new Twitter. And these are my streaming uh, related pages. Um, Again, thank you so much for showing up. We love you all. Have an amazing, amazing day, and be kind to yourselves. And be kind to others. Good night.